Hi, this is Natalie from Namaste Farms, and I am going to finish the video that I started yesterday about the bats by showing you how not to make striping in your yarn. Everybody knows that has seen the first part of the video that I had completed everything in one take, and then my little Pomeranian ran up and got her head hit by the flyer, and she's fine. But what happened was, because my husband was doing a close-up at the time, when the flyer went around and hit her, just the angle that it was at, it actually it looked like her head flew off. And I'm not like making light of it that she got hit. And then she yelped, which the yelp wasn't even that bad, and she didn't even get hurt. It was just this weird camera angle. And so I got very concerned that people were going to think that I'm like some cruel person because I didn't like stop. I just kept going, but I was thinking, this is film. You have to keep going. You know, just keep doing. Just keep making the video. And it wasn't that I had disregard for her safety. It was just that all of us that have animals know that this it's like one of those. It's just one of the things that happens. Your kids too. My son. I don't know what it is about my son, and I think he's intelligent. But he always wants to stick his finger in the wheel part, and it's at some point you just have to say, okay, do it, and see what happens. Really. I mean, you can't keep saying no, no, no. But anyway, so the dog is fine. Everything is good. That said, what happened was I was like in the middle of, pulling the bat apart and showing you how to not make this striping. And then the bat now looks like this. So it's kind of messy, which is the story of my life. It's just the way that I am. Like a lot of people are super hyper organized and I'm not. It's just not who I am. And it makes life a little bit more difficult on me. But I always say I'm going to change and I'm going to be more organized, but I'm not. I probably should have made another bat, but I would have just ripped it apart anyway. So there's no point. So I'm just going to show you what I would have done. Okay, so let's just pretend that I had a normal looking bat here that you saw after I had rolled it off of the carder. I would have went immediately and started pulling off colors, right? And you're like, okay, so then if you're going to be pulling off these colors, why does it matter what colors go next to each other in the carder? Well, it really matters, I told you, because inevitably you're going to have colors overlapping. So I don't mind this green overlapping with this white, but I didn't want this red really overlapping with this white because, look, that's a barber pole without even having the angle. So that's just not what I like. Some people don't mind it. And so if you don't mind it, then you do it. But me personally, I don't like it. Okay, so where I was at before I tried to kill my dog was here, just going along and showing you how I add colors in so that we don't get that barber pole effect. Okay, also, I have a lot of different colors, right? We picked the peach, we picked the red, we picked the white, we picked the turquoise, and then I had like a peach, and then I was doing some auto wrapping with some copper. So there's a lot. So bearing that in mind, I am not going to want to keep switching colors back and forth, right? I'm not going to want to do that because it's going to make it way too busy. See, there's some overlap right there with the blue and the peach, and that's okay. I'm not saying never let it stripe. I'm saying for the most part, don't keep going back and forth and leaving a bunch of striping and make muddy colors. That's what I'm saying. So sometimes I just sort of do a thick and thin, and I just like to. It just feels right. And so that's kind of what I'm doing now. When I go to change colors, like I'm going to in a minute, I'm going to go ahead and do this peach color for a little bit because I don't want to just switch back and forth and just have this massive too many changes of colors, because also knitting, when it makes those V's, I think that looks kind of busy. So I just don't want it to be busy with the pattern that knitting just naturally makes, and then switching colors back and forth, and then barber pulling. There's a little bit of barber pulling with the green and the peach together. No big deal because I'm not doing it very much. Okay, so I've done a good stretch. I would say maybe it's probably a couple of yards of this peach color, and I would be like, okay, I really like peach with this brown. So I'm going to let the brown join, and see when I let it join how I'm letting it go in at a 90-degree angle, and it's like rolling over this peach, and it's covering up the peach completely so that it's not going to make a barber pole. So then I'm going to make this brown. I'm probably going to use this brown for quite a little bit of a ways, because I don't want, as I told you, to just keep switching back and forth on all these colors and just making a super, super busy yarn. Sort of like a person that would wear, like, let's say, stripe and plaid, all these different colors. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it so that these colors, we can appreciate the beauty of the yarn and the colors without making too much going on. So when I add the colors, I think I just said this, you're going to want to make a worsted join You're not going to want to make a join in the middle of this fat part. You want to make a join in the middle of the thin part. And I can thank J.C. Boggs for, you know, reminding all of us of that. Because it won't be strong. Worsted joins are strong. Okay, so now I like the fact that I'm going to use blue because I like blue in this color, brown color together. So I'm going to let it, look, I'm going to do a worsted join, but I'm going to let it join at this 90-degree angle so that I don't have barber pulling with the brown. And then I'm going to spin the blue for a while. And I do like the blue and the white together. So my next color would probably be white. And I know you already know, but I'm going to make a worsted join. And I'll probably do that in just a second because I don't have a lot of blue. Okay, so there. I did a sort of a little, you know, fat place. And I'm going to, like I told you, I'm going to let it go at a 90-degree angle because I don't want a bunch of striping. Okay, but I don't mind if there's like, see that? I love breaks. I used to think, when I first saw this wheel, I was like, what a stupid idea. Who would have a break on a wheel? I use this break constantly. It is not a stupid idea, but I really was like, why would they put that? I don't want that feature. Like somehow they were going to give me like $3.50 off for it or something if I wasn't going to have it. But it comes with it and it comes in very handy. But anyhow, so see how I did this? It actually has some blue in it, but it's not really striped. It's just sort of like half of this little bobble is blue. The other half is white. I dig that. I like that. So if that was going to happen, you know, frequently, I would be happy. Okay, so I'm going to just make a few more passes on this, and then I want to show you something else. I want to talk about auto wrapping. And I don't really like to show things, you know, or like go over stuff that, you know, JC makes, you know, she makes videos, and, you know, this is her income. You know, and I think it would be really unfair of me to show you techniques that she shows, not because I don't feel that you know, that that you shouldn't be able to have the information or, you know, I should be able to share it, but because, you know, no one's making a lot of money, and I really feel like that would be very rude of me to like watch her approach and then, you know, somehow, you know, share it with you for free. I don't believe in doing that. What I do not mind doing is like more, it's like in addition. So she's coming out with a new video, and I really hope you guys buy it. And she also has her other video out. I think it's called Sit and Spin. And I love JC, and I really want to promote her videos and tell you that none of us make, you know, Lexi doesn't make a lot of money. I don't make a lot of money. You know, none of us do, man. This is art, you know, and there aren't a lot of artists that do this as their primary income. And if people are willing to share it with you, I really think you should support them. And it sounds like I'm like talking about myself somehow, and I'm like, yeah, but I already was obvious. I already told you I need you to help and to support me, especially now that I'm going out on my own. Okay. So, that said, this fleece smells like a buck fleece. I had it processed, and I thought it was like the machinery oil, but I gotta be honest with you, right now it's making me want to gag. But since you can't smell it, I'll just continue using it. My first instinct is that I want to use, I think I said that in my last, yes, I did say yesterday, I don't care for Angelina. Doesn't mean I don't like this, and I think I said that too, I'm repeating myself. But this is kind of a cool auto wrapping thread, because, well, it's beautiful in my opinion, and I like the way that it's going to wrap around my main piece of fiber. That said, because it's super lightweight, it wants to go into the orifice. It wants to catch on some of these little hairs, go into the orifice, and then just make a mess. So if you want it to auto wrap more easily, then you would get like I use a 5-2 or a 10-2, and that's the weight. And I think the 2 refers to how many plies it is. I actually should just shut up because I don't know. But all I know is that I like 5-2 and 10-2. I don't like 3-2 because it's more like a rope, in my opinion. You know, it's just. But crocheters probably know what this is. But this is the Suprema, UKI Supreme, mercerized cotton. And most people will try this to the leader and then just, you know, begin spinning. I don't, you know, this is how I always do it. I always get like a bit of yarn going, and then I add it in exactly like this. One of the things I have to tell you is if you're going to auto wrap, oh great, now I have both. If you're going to auto wrap and you're using a cone, you want to loosen the thread up from the cone first, because if you don't, it's going to pull really tight and it's going to look ugly. So I'm doing these colors. This is actually navy blue, it looks black, but I'm doing these colors so that you can see better, not because I think it looks cool together, because I don't. Okay, so I don't normally like to, this wheel normally comes with a different flyer head, and it has like a hook, which makes it difficult to auto wrap. So they were smart and they went and made this auto wrapping part so that it doesn't hang up and it can just easily go through. I use auto wrapping on my Magic Craft too. No matter what wheel I do auto wrapping on, I always seem to have a little bit of difficulty. So I spend a lot of time constantly moving this thread. I've seen JC do it and I've seen Lexi do it, and they don't seem to have any problem auto wrapping. And I honestly can't tell you why that is, and I'm sure they would be able to tell me why I have difficulty. But the other thing is, everyone I know has difficulty. It's like those are the only people that don't, that I know. So what I do is I make sure that it's that you know there's a lot left that's not really attached that I've already pulled away from the cone, so that it's going to make this sort of loopy looking thing, right? And sometimes I'll auto wrap afterwards, which isn't actually auto wrapping. You know, technically, I mean that would be almost like ply auto wrapping. But I like it when, if I'm going to do thick and thin, I like it to look, see, I don't like it to get tight. See how, that's exactly what I don't like. See how it got tight and like cut that bobble in half? That's what happens if you don't loosen up some of the thread from your cone or your, whatever it is that you have it. Like let's say you bought just a thread from a store, and it wasn't like a cone yarn, it was more like just our traditional little bobbin. What are they called? Spool. So this is how I do it, and it's very time consuming, and you have to pay attention to this, and then you have to know that you cannot overspin these worsted parts, right, and get kinks. So you have to make sure that while you're allowing this thread to drape beautifully around these thick parts, you have to make sure that your yarn still has good integrity. And I like it to have a lot of wrap, especially over these bobbly parts. I really love when I see it have a lot of wraps like that. That makes my heart happy. But see how it got tight? But I just did that because I pulled. So you want to just continue to unwrap. And you know what? If you weren't making yarn for production like I do, you would, you know, you could take your time. Me, I'm always in a time crunch. That'll probably be less now. Now that I'm not going to be working for Yarn Market anymore. But I didn't really do these kind of yarns for them either because they're just very time consuming. And they're worth it. But you can see how if you're not paying attention, you would overspin these thinner parts. And I don't like that. I'm going to tell you, we've talked about this so many times, that if I make a yarn like this, I want to look at it and I don't want any kinks to be in here. And if there is, I'm not going to sell this yarn. This yarn will be given away. And it's kind of does bum me out because sometimes, you know, I may have been 20 yards into it and, you know, of a 30-yard skein, and I'll put a kink in it. But, you know, if you really want to tell people that you're a quality maker, you cannot leave these little things that make all the difference in the world. And if I saw it and I saw someone was selling yarn like that, even if I thought they were super talented, I would really be bummed out. And it would make me think, wow, this person doesn't think my money means anything because they're asking me to pay for something that's a mistake, that I know is a mistake, but they're banking on the fact that I don't know what good integrity is in yarn. So anyhow, so I've taught you how to not stripe your yarn from a carded bat, which is not even a bat anymore, it's kind of a mess. And I have taught you how to do thick and thin yarn and do a worsted join and do auto wrapping. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at littly@mac.com, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for being supportive of me and watching my videos. Share them if you want. Thanks.